So what rational conclusions can we draw from what we're seeing? At this point, none. CNN doesn't want to talk about the COVID outbreak among vaccinated people in New York. They'd have to correct too many lies that they told. In any case, there are more Democratic voters in New York City than anywhere else in America, so there's no reason to embarrass the base of their own party. Instead, CNN and its masters in the Democratic Party have identified the real villain to blame for this outbreak. And you will know, even before we tell you, that it's not Pfizer, it's not the government of China, it's America's working class, a group now known as, quote, the unvaccinated. On Thursday, Joe Biden informed us that these people will die for what they've done.
It's here now, and it's spreading, and it's going to increase. For unvaccinated, we are looking at a winter of severe illness and death for unvaccinated. For themselves, their families, and the hospitals they'll soon overwhelm.
It's hard to remember ever in our history an American president saying something more dishonest, crueler, or more divisive than what you just heard. In a functioning system with an effective opposition, which we do not have, Biden wouldn't be impeached for that. Everything about that statement, which is essential, it's about this global pandemic, everything about it is a lie. The unvaccinated pose no greater threat to the vaccinated than the vaccinated pose to them. And if they do, Joe Biden, why don't you tell us how they do? But he can't. No one can. That's why they never explain it. In fact, there's quite a bit of evidence that the millions of Americans who've recovered from COVID and have natural immunity are safer than most people. They've relied on their own immune systems, and they've been rewarded for it. Joe Biden has never once acknowledged that these millions of people exist. As for Biden's claim that the unvaccinated are overrunning hospitals, it's hard to believe he would even say that. First and most obviously, these are American citizens. They have every right to use American hospitals. They pay for those hospitals. This is their country. And as of tonight, they are not overwhelming those hospitals, in point of fact. And by the way, since we're on the topic, here's a question. Do the unvaccinated, quote, overwhelm emergency rooms more than the, say, millions of illegal immigrants that Joe Biden has just admitted into our country? Do they overwhelm the hospitals more than the drug addicts and the mentally ill living on our streets that the Democratic Party so faithfully subsidizes? No, they don't. This is a lie. This is all a lie. And it's a very scary thing for the leader of the United States of America to be saying out loud. But you can see why he's saying it. You know what's happening here. Biden's COVID policies are a measurable failure. More Americans have died from COVID under Joe Biden than died under Donald Trump. That's not some Republican talking point. It's the truth, and you can look it up on the CDC website. That's the bottom line. It's a very hard number to ignore. So Biden's advisors want you looking elsewhere. And to get you looking elsewhere, they are working to create a kulak class, a group of reviled subhumans that the rest of us are free to hate and mock and whose deaths we're allowed to root for. That's the unvaccinated. When David Frum tells you we should let the unvaccinated just die, he's not alone. That is now the official position of the Democratic Party. If you get COVID and you're unvaccinated, it is immoral for you to go to the hospital. You're overcrowding it. And we need that space for the many people who've taken the COVID vaccine and are now sick from COVID. That's what the President of the United States just said on Thursday. It's at this point that if it all wasn't so dark, you'd probably pause and laugh because it's also genuinely hilarious. Take the vax so that when you get the disease it's designed to prevent, you have a right to go to the hospital? It's insane.
If I said it, I meant it. Bite my tongue.